because I'm yelling and screaming on the sideline. But he's got some range, he's got athleticism, and good ball skills. So that's always transferred well to the free safety spot.
So was that as much about just the fact you guys needed some depth there, with some guys banged up? Or?
No question. Yeah, who was the best fit for that opportunity, and also kind of where he was depth-wise with the receivers. Whereas if we see a guy that's not being utilized, if we can utilize him on the defensive side of the ball, we're going to go ahead and do it. Vice versa, if you get a guy on the defense that's not being utilized, like Jake Jackson, for example, was a guy that got some time at tight end today because they're having some depth issues over there. We'll go ahead and do that. Whatever's best for the team, essentially.
Did it help that, obviously you had some familiarity with him, having recruited him and all that sort of stuff, in terms of Nurse? Sorry.
Yeah, obviously we have the best relationship, player-coach relationship, simply because I recruited him. But at the same time, if the guy's not willing to do it, he's not willing to do it. Sometimes you run into a player that just says, no, I want to be able to stay at the position I want to. As a coach, if they're not happy, you're not going to get the best out of them. Just keep them at that position. But for the most part, we've got guys that are team guys that are willing to do what's best for the team.
So I take it you're saying Nurse was one of those guys who
no
was
question.
How's your safety depth right now? With Chase being out, how does everything look, and how's everyone performing?
I think we've got 5 guys right now, including Nurse. Nurse would have to be a guy that we develop, but Chase Hansen, Corian Ballard, Marquise Blair, Philip Afia, and then Josh Nurse. That's 5 guys. That's what you're looking for, and we'd love to have 10, but that's just not the reality of things. So happy with the depth that we've got right now and the progress those guys have been making.
Does a theoretically improved offense pose any problems for a team that's made its name on defense?
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Does theoretically improved offense, does it pose any problems for a team that made its name defensively?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you get better on offense, is that a problem with the balance?
I don't think so. The better you are on offense, the better we are on defense, in my opinion. It's just, there's great competition going back and forth, and what's neat is, guys see the reality, when an offense is doing certain things and they're having success, if it's not a live drill, is it because we're not tagged? Is it because we're staying off the quarterback? So offense is doing a great job. Those guys are developing quickly, and we're just trying to improve defensively every week.
How about the tempo? Like in theory, there could be more defensive snaps where you got to put your guys on the field. Is that something that's concerning at all? Just because the offense, is talking about playing, throwing it more, playing at a faster pace. Sometimes that lengthens out the game.
Yeah, we don't care as long as if we're scoring points, we're happy. We're happy, and we could also do a better job of getting off the field. That's our job, is to find a way off the field, whether it be turnovers, whether it be stopping them on 3 and outs. Average drive against us for the past couple of years has been 6 plays. So conditioning wise, that's what you're trying to get your guys ready for, is beyond that. We faced fast tempos in this league. I think the fastest we faced was in the bowl game against Indiana. That's what kind of forced me to come down on the field, because we couldn't get the call to them quick enough. So fast tempo teams also are simplistic schematically. They just try and outlast you, right, and bring in new wide receivers, and you got to do a good job of replacing guys with as much man coverage as we run. So we just got to be smart defensively and understand the scheme that we're going to face each week, the tempo, and deal accordingly.
And it probably also makes it nice, Morgan, if your offense is scoring, the defense doesn't have to go out and make a huge play every time they come out.
Right. No question. Yeah. If there's points on the board, we can be probably a little bit more aggressive as well. So the best defense is a good offense.
Going against this offense every day, what is your analysis of how good they are and how difficult they are to prepare for?
That's a good question. I don't spend a whole lot of time. I spend much more time focusing on where our deficiencies are. I think that the things that they're doing a good enough job doing is recognizing safety rotation, recognizing where the weaknesses of a defense are, and the quarterbacks are getting rid of the ball. What you're seeing, at least the past week, is much more running than we've seen from Troy's offense, and they're having success doing that. So as long as you're a balanced offense, and I think with the tempo that they go, and what you're also saying, I mean, you guys are limited to what you're able to see, but they're doing a good job of rotating personnel. If you keep the same personnel on the field, it makes it easy for a defense not to have to switch and not to have to change calls. But all of a sudden it's 12 personnel and it's 10 personnel, and then it's their jumbo package, and all of a sudden they're going a million miles an hour. It can pose problems for a defense.
Is that making things more difficult for you guys pre-snap? Or your guys, have they mentioned anything about the speed, the tempo, the constant rotation, and making it more difficult for them than in years past?
Not necessarily, because we're used to it. Like I said, that we've dealt with tempo teams before. It's the tempo teams with the personnel changes. So we've got to do a good enough job, because the referees are supposed to give you opportunity to sub when the offense subs. So as long as the refs are getting on the ball and we're rotating in there with some tempo, it shouldn't cause an issue. As long as we get lined up quickly.